Hello, everyone. Welcome to William in the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Niko. Niko is from Greece, but he lives in Texas in the USA. So let's see what Niko has to say. Enjoy the interview. So, hello, Niko. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview.
Of
Thank you.
course. Of course.
My God, I love your background. Tell me a
Oh,
little bit
thank
about
you.
it.
This is like the game room. And I try to decorate as much as I can, but it needs more light. I'm trying to make it look better. But
Wow. It's like a collection that you have there.
oh, that's nothing. That's like scratching the surface of what we have in the house. Now it's expanding in the bedroom too, and I'm like, oh my God, we need to stop. We need to stop putting stuff. It's a
So,
lot.
so tell me, how's your day going so far, your morning?
It's good. It's good, sir. I wake up usually really early,
Mhm.
um, and during the week and the weekends, I try to sleep more, but my clock always wakes me up at six maybe 5:30. But
I'm
it's
exactly
okay. I
the
mean,
same. I'm exactly the same. Today, I
yeah,
wake up around the same time as well. Wake up at 6 o'clock or quarter to six, and I just wake up and I went to the gym and I did my things because I cannot stay in
yeah.
bed.
I can't nap during the day. My husband naps. He can nap just like that. I just can't. And I'm like, it's the weekend, please. I need to sleep more or do something, to rest. But nope,
I
no.
cannot nap as well, but I can have like 10, 15 minutes. For example, today I was editing some interviews today, in the afternoon, and I felt a bit cozy. I felt a little bit like, so I had,
Yes.
let's say, 5 to 10 minutes. I just closed my eyes, but I don't see as a nap because I was completely awake in a way.
If you have the right blanket and you're in the right mood, it's possible, yeah.
So tell me, where are you from?
Well, I'm from Greece. I'm from north city of Greece. Th It's called Thessaloniki.
Okay.
Um, I was born and raised there, and I left Greece in 2011.
Hmm.
Um, I lived in the UK for 6 years. I
Wow.
lived in Nottingham.
Okay.
I worked there for a few years. Then I did a second degree um, in product design,
Okay.
and after that, I was pretty much done with the UK. I needed to go back to Greece, but I met my husband, and it was like a dilemma. Like, should I go back to Greece or should I come here? So we got engaged, and I've moved here, and I've been here since 2016.
Wow.
And yeah,
And where are you based in the US?
I'm in Texas, in San Antonio.
San Antonio.
San Antonio, yes.
Amazing, amazing. And what's the best part of living there, in your opinion, San Antonio?
To be honest with you, I felt more home here in Texas than I did in the UK. I don't know why. Like, it's the people, the food, the culture.
Yeah.
It made me feel a little bit more homey.
Hmm.
I mean, the culture difference with the UK is massive. Without saying that UK was not as good, but it's very different. Like,
Yeah.
the aside from the weather and the food and everything, I do miss the UK a lot. But this place made me feel more closer to Greece than in the UK, and the language itself, like English here is a little bit more laid back and more smooth than British,
Right.
and it was easier for me to adapt here than when I moved in the UK when I was 20, 23, 22.
Wow. And what do you do for work, for living?
Well, I'm a photographer, like a studio product photographer, and that's what I did in the UK too. I used to work for Boots, for
Oh.
their website. And I pretty much do the same here, but I work for this company that uh, they build plush toys, and
Hmm.
I'm their in-house photographer for the production and also for the website. All the products I have my own studio, and I'm constantly taking pictures of everything we do, and post-production, website design, like all kinds of stuff. So it's, but
Amazing.
at the same time, I do some, I don't do it anymore, but I used to do freelance photography for products or portraits. I now slowed down a little bit because I started working more with leather products. We're immersing in this leather crafting now, and I put my photography on the side a little bit.
Yeah, I could see actually. That's how I found you. You know, I saw your artwork, leather, before. That's how I felt like, oh my God, that's interesting, and that's how it got my attention. So it's just something new that you start doing right now, or it's something that you've been doing for a while?
So my grandfather was he used to be a shoemaker, and
Mhm.
I basically grew up with him making stuff in his workshop, and it was always really familiar to me. And when I moved here, I I went to these hobby stores with hobby crafts, arts and crafts, and I saw all the gear you can buy for leather, and I'm like, heck, I could try to do something with that. I remember it, and I felt really nostalgic. So I bought some stuff and I started working on it, and I realized that I really liked this. And then I introduced it to my husband, and my husband was even more passionate than me about
Oh,
this. And we slowly start buying more hardware and more stuff to make, and it turned into a thing. Like we really got into it, and we're really interested in this crafting and this art. It's really,
amazing. And your husband is from San Antonio in Texas?
yes, he's from here.
Amazing. Okay. So for the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your journey, your point of views, okay, and joys in life as well.
Yes, sir.
Nico, before we start our journey within the magic box, would you like to tell me something interesting about yourself?
Interesting about myself. I don't know. I'm all over the place as far as interests, and I never stop um, learning new things and new art, new things in the art world. I like to explore different things, but that at the same time, that's also my kryptonite because it messes me up because I feel like I'm all over the place. I'm never consistent in one thing.
Uh-huh.
So it's like a double-edged sword. Like I try to explore new things, and but I can never stay focused on one thing to make it better and to get better. So I'm always like all over the place. So I don't know if this is something interesting about myself, but every time I meet new people or making new friends, they are all usually telling me that, damn, like you do so many things. And I'm like, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. I try to be focused, but I can't.
It depends as well. Sometimes you are exploring different areas. You are, sometimes when you have something in your mind, like a passion or something, you just get into it, and something else appears and goes in a different
Yes.
direction. It's always like that. You're exploring, and I'm sure one point you're gonna go like, okay, that's the thing that I'm gonna like focus 100% of my time.
That's how I feel with leather crafting now. In the
Yeah.
past couple of years, I feel like I'm settling in for this, and I'm trying to focus on that specifically. And every time I get inspiration from other things, I'm like, no, 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 I'm not gonna do any of that. I'm just gonna stay here. And it's hard. It's hard. It's
Am I
hard.
saying your name right, Nico?
Yes.
Yeah. Nico, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Let's do it.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I've got here my full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to relax before the first question, okay?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. Hey, Nico, before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, some reason you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Mhm.
First question for you is, what does happiness mean to you?
Happiness. Happiness to me is when you're satisfied with everything you do and there's nothing that's troubling you and you have no doubts, basically. Simple as that.
Do you believe that happiness is a choice?
I believe in karma, so I think that partially it is your choice. Although if because I believe in karma, I think that yeah, it is a choice, but at the same time, sometimes it's not. It's the universe will bring you what you put into it. So it's like a balanced scale to me.
When you think about happiness, can you share like one of the happiest day in your life that's when you remember like comes to your mind?
Oof. I have several. I would probably say uh the day we got married, but because it was a huge surprise, I did not expect it, and it was an unexpected, huge, happy moment of that. I was like, "Oh my God, it's happening!" But I think the second most happy moment was when the first time I went to Disney with my husband, and to me that was like a day that I was waiting since I was a little kid. Because coming
Wow.
from Greece, I never in Greece people don't really go to Disney. It's really far away. You have to go to France. It's like a huge trip you have to plan. And here it
Mhm.
was right there, and it was easy. And I'm like, I can't believe that we're actually here. So I think those 2 days were at the top of the most happy moments that
You
I
know,
can remember. I have probably more, but
a few
these are
years
the
ago, I used to work for Disney World in Orlando, actually.
wow,
Yeah,
nice.
I had the opportunity to work for Disney Cruise Line, and I had the same feeling as you as well. Like in Brazilian, actually, I find out something interesting. When I was in Disney, I find out that after the Americans, Brazilian people is the second nation that consume more the Disney, like goes to Disney. I was so impressed. I mean, I was, and I'm not, because growing up, I remember so many people going to Disney all the time. It was like a press, like everyone was so excited about
Mhm.
Disney. So I was in a way, and I wasn't, because I grew up knowing how many people. It was like a birthday gift for people. It was like celebrations. People they were just going for Disney World. So yeah, and fun enough, when I was there before we went on the ship, we spent 3 days get to know the park for free, all the parks, everything
Wow.
for free. But the most interesting thing happened to us is in the second day, we got to see behind the scene. Like
Yes.
Magical Kingdom, we went to see everything behind the scene. I couldn't believe, like I was seeing everything before the magic happens. I remember like walking down those corridors underground, and he's Magical Kingdom. This is that, and you come up, you are already in Disney. I was like, my
Wow.
goodness, it was like I never thought in my life that I would see that,
And
and
this
yeah,
changes you because now every time you will go, you will remember that this is
totally,
connected like this.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. That's
And
crazy.
I remember as well. We were in Magical Kingdom, and of course the fireworks that they do every day. And I remember watching it. And there was this member of staff passing by, and I was like, "Look, tell me something. This is the first time that happened like this beautiful because it felt so beautiful. People crying, get emotional." He was like, "No, it happens every day." I was like, "Oh my God, it's so like real." And a lesson that I've learned from Disney with working for Disney, there are no plan A, it's plan B, just plan A.
Wow.
That's it. I've learned like how to be very disciplined. I remember that it
I
was
bet.
like, yeah, it was like a life, like I've learned so much. I have no idea. I'm so grateful.
I
Yeah,
mean, people who work there, they are the best at what they do. They don't
it,
just hire anybody. So
it's
that tells me something about you. That the fact that you work there, you're really good at what you do.
oh, I couldn't believe it was alive, like memories, and I've got so
Yeah,
many people that I still keep in touch, like around the world that they were working there as well.
I
Anyway,
bet. That
yeah,
that sounds like a really great experience
it
to
was
work.
amazing. Next question. Hey, Nico, next question is, what is the most difficult thing have you ever done?
Ooh, I think the most difficult thing to do was to just get on that plane and leave my home and go to a foreign country when I
Wow.
was 23. And I'm not gonna lie, I when I was 23 and I left Greece, I didn't know how you pay bills. I didn't know how you open a bank account. I knew nothing, and I moved to the UK without knowing anything. And I had just a suitcase. I was like,
Wow.
okay, this is it. I think that was the most difficult and most scary.
Did you
Oh,
have the support of your family regards this decision?
yes, I mean, my whole family was in Greece, and we they had my back. They were supporting everything I did. I mean, I didn't leave with sadness or a grudge or anything bad happening. Like I left with my own choice, and they helped me. They support me through the whole journey, and I was very lucky that I had my family supporting me uh, emotionally and financially. I'm not gonna lie, they did help me a lot until I get on my feet. And but yeah,
And which person in your family you are more close to?
damn, that's a tough one.
I know Greek people, they are very family, they are all very
Yes,
connected, very
uh,
togetherness.
I will say, as far as opening up emotionally, I will say I'm closer to my mother.
Hmm.
Um, but both my parents know absolutely everything because, Greek people have a very big mouth. We talk about everything to everybody. Everybody knows everybody's business. So my both my parents know everything. Like if I tell my mom, my dad will know instantly and vice versa.
Hmm.
But I think my mom is a little bit closer to me as far as intuition and emotional stuff, and we will talk with my mom about anything that has to do with mental health. Or my dad is a dad,
Of
he's
course.
he's a little bit more skeptical and more practical and more logical. My mom is more, she's open with to talk about emotions and spiritual stuff. So I will say
You,
my mom.
you have siblings as well?
Yes, I have one older sister.
Okay, next question. Hey, Nico, before the next question, tell me how photography came into your life.
Um, so when I went to high school, I chose to go to this technical high school where you can learn an occupation at the same time being in high school. And uh, I went to this high school that was it had multiple occupations, and I chose graphic design. And photography was one of the courses that we had to do. And because I did 3 years in that high school where graphic design was constantly there and we had to learn everything, I really got really bored and with graphic design. So I didn't want to follow and continue my education in graphic design. I chose photography just to switch it up. And initially, I didn't really like it. It wasn't my thing because I wasn't very social person to go out and take pictures and portraits of people. I wasn't really open. But after I graduated, I started working on fashion portraits that they were more controlled, and I started liking making projects. And that's when I moved out. I went to the UK and I decided to do this more often, and then I started doing studio photography for products and websites, and I'm like, I kind of like this. I prefer this more. So it was more like a downhill road, and choices were coming to me, and I was like, oh, I'll go with it. And I ended up getting more experience and more good at this, and it turned out to be my more like my job instead more like my career. Does that make
Mhm.
sense? And that's
Yes.
why later on I decided to pause and study product design, which was always my passion.
Mhm.
And so now I know both, but to me, photography is more like my job that pays the bills. I love it, I do it, but at the same time, like I said before, I have so many interests that I love doing more things. It's not my true passion. I have many true passions. So it's just more like a tool that I know to do how very well at this.
I think you have this artist's, soul. That's everything. It's
Yeah.
there. Like you are creative. You want to create more. You want to connect more. You want to
Yes.
learn more.
Constantly.
Yeah.
constantly. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing. It's a constant bug inside your head.
Next question for you is, what bores you?
What bores me? Um, bores me. What bores me? I think I would probably say a routine that leads to nowhere. Um, when I do something over and over again that really doesn't teach me anything or doesn't help me to improve myself, that's boring. Um, I also find very boring washing dishes, but that's not really very intellectual. But I think that's what it is. I think the most boring things to do is the stuff that do not teach you anything, do not provide you any experience or any lesson, and it's just a waste of time. And that also goes for human relationships, not just activities. Like if you have a relationship with a friend that doesn't evolve or doesn't take you anywhere and it just sits there and it's just the same thing over and over, to me that's boring.
Amazing. What's your star sign or astrology?
I am a Sagittarius, but
Mm,
I used to know a lot about astrology to the point where people would be like, okay, it's time to help me out with my map. And I would do their maps.
wow.
So yeah, I used to know a lot and I still have that information stored in my head. But I try not to.
My second one is Sagittarius, actually, because the first one is the date when you're born. The second one is the time. So I'm Scorpio, and my second one is Sagittarius. You know something about
Ooh.
Sagittarius that's very interesting? Sagittarius, they have the biggest heart compared with the other star sign in astrology. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, yeah. And it makes sense. I think for me, it's so interesting because Scorpio, they're so totally different with Sagittarius, but the balance is the best. The balance, because Scorpio is very intense. Scorpio is very, we are very, we like to express, we like this
Very passionate
intensity,
people.
very
Yeah.
passionate, yes. And Sagittarius is more calm, they have this inner child. And I think for me, it works really well because all together it kind of calm me down a little bit,
Oh yeah.
put me together like in a balance.
My best friend, he's a Scorpio, and
Uh-huh.
we always balance each other.
Yeah,
Like I know exactly what you mean. I know
my first
exactly.
my first boyfriend was Scorpio. Sorry, Sagittarius actually. Sagittarius, my first boyfriends. Yeah. Which day is your friend? He's November or October? Your friend?
He's November 4th, I think.
I see. I'm 17, so not far. Ready for another question? Yeah. Ready?
Yes.
Let's do it. You like dancing, Nico?
Not re I mean, I do, but I'm not very good at it. I'm not very flexible. I'm notorious for not being very good at dancing.
Next question for you is: who do you count the most for help?
Um, I would probably say my husband and um and then my two best friends. Uh, because my husband is he's a very practical person. He's a Gemini. So Geminis can give you really solid advice um, with no emotions, just mathematical, logical advice and help. But then when I need something more as far as emotions, my two best friends always provide that emotional support that I need. So usually when I struggle with an issue, I need both uh, opinions from both sides to to move forward because sometimes you need a little bit more mental health, sometimes you need more practical.
Yeah.
So I need both, and then I find the middle ground, and yeah.
And your best friends, they live in Texas as well or not?
No, actually, one is in Greece, and they at some point they both lived in the UK,
Hmm.
but they are both from Greece.
I
Uh,
see.
Now one returned back in Greece, and the other one is still in the UK.
Amazing.
It's hard because we don't see each other, but with social media, it helps a lot.
Totally. I think nowadays with the with FaceTime, with the
Oh,
technology nowadays, the best. My best
yes.
friend, he's in Canada, and you talk very. He's actually my best friend. He's so far away from me that I talk more often with my friends here in London. Can you
Yes.
imagine? It's
Isn't that
crazy.
crazy?
It's
That's
crazy.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question.
Go.
Next question for you is: what is the most memorable lesson you've learned from your parents?
I think it would be, oh my God. I need to think about this one. I think one of the most memorable ones that I can remember now is when I can't remember who told me that, which one, when they told me that no matter what you do, you must follow your gut and do what feels right inside you because this is the only way to be yourself, to be original. If you follow someone else's steps and ideas, it might work for them, but it might not work for you. Because I remember I was in this difficult situation and I kept asking my friends what to do, and every time I would try to do what they told me to, I would fail and it wouldn't work. So then my parents helped me with this and it actually worked. And but it's been so long since that. I think that was back in when I was 16, 18. But it's still like I still remember that advice and I try. It's not easy nowadays. It
Mhm.
really it's not easy to do that. We get influenced by everybody and everything, and we forget that we have to we have to go on our own journey and make our own choices. But it's so hard not to be influenced, especially with social media. And it's harder now. It's harder now. But
Yeah,
that's one of the most memorable ones I remember.
it's interesting because it's funny because as you said, we hear lessons, advice from people around us, which works well. You know what I mean? Sometimes, most of the time as well, they are really good. But the ones from our parents is just pure. They always get it right because it's a pure love. It's something that they just want us to be in the better place we can, the best place. So it's just always those lessons. It's funny sometimes when you're growing up, you don't accept it, you don't understand,
Mm-mm.
but when you look back, go like, okay, they were completely right. Yeah.
I think, yeah, the more I grow up, the more I realize that uh, I should have listened to them more when I was
Mhm.
younger because they have the experience that back then that I have now. And
Yeah.
now my niece is like 6, 7, and I feel that I need to tell her to prepare her what's coming. But when you're young, you really don't care. You're like,
So,
oh, I'm young. I don't care. What do you know? So
yeah,
yeah,
the
and
parents are right.
I'm just glad that I had parents that they actually cared and they were there because I have many friends that their families were always ignorant and they were never there. And now my friends struggle now because they never had that source of wisdom and advice. And it's really hard to do it on your own.
3 questions left for you. Let's do it. But before the next question, as you've been saying about your parents, how grateful you are for them, the connection you have, the lessons that they taught you, and for you growing up back in Greece as a gay boy, how was your experience? Did you have their support as well?
Um, See, I came out late. I was in my 20s when I came out and I didn't even know. Like it was something I discovered by myself and quite unexpectedly. I always thought I was straight, but I was a really emotional person and I could never just there was something there, something wrong. So when I came out the first year was not really rough. it was a shock for my parents, but they were both um they were both suspected it, or they knew that there's something. Of course, when I came out by telling them like I know someone. I'm going out with somebody. So it was a lot for them. If I was just alone and coming out, it would give them more like a grace period where they can adapt to it. So it wasn't very messy. It wasn't very difficult. They both accepted me. All my friends accepted me, and it was I was extremely lucky that I had a lot of support, a lot of understanding. It was smooth sailing for me. Like I've never met someone like a friend that had a similar smooth um, come out experience. Like I felt
Well,
really lucky that I had such a easy in and out situation. It was really smooth. But
amazing.
growing up later, like I had um my first relationship was extremely um helpful and very supportive, and um it was a great experience because I did not really, to be honest, I did not experiment much. When after I came out, I went immediately to a long relationship, and it helped me a lot finding who I am, taking small steps. And for a while I had kind of regrets not partying and going out and meeting and experimenting. But nowadays that I grew up more, I'm like I think that it was actually a good thing that I did not spend many years experimenting and going wild, because to me I grew up into this smoother and in a more mature way. I don't know, I can't explain it, but I have other friends that they had it rough, and they experimented more, and they were more wild, and now they have many regrets doing a lot of stuff that I didn't get to do. But I don't know. I was always the relationship guy. Like I never partied that hard.
Very Sagittarius.
You think?
Not
Because
that
I
I said very Sagittarius because my first boyfriend, he's exactly the same.
really,
Oh yes, totally. I remember like I want to go out, I want to explore, I want to see people, and he was very calm. He wants to be at home, watch a movie, relax.
yeah,
He was focusing in his career, which is understanding. Look back as well, go like, okay, it's just the way. They're not right or wrong. It's just personalities, how you feel happy about the way you are. And as you said, you didn't have that, but somehow you didn't miss it because it's the way you are, the way you feel happy.
yeah.
So it meant to be this way, for sure. Next question is, what is something not many people know about you?
Hmm. I'm a huge extrovert, so I don't think there are many things that people don't know. I think one of the things maybe people don't really know about me, not because I'm hiding it, but because I don't really talk about it, is my religious choices and views,
Mm-hmm,
also my political stuff. I try not to talk about them a lot and very openly,
mm-hmm.
and I would probably say my political views are something that not many people know, and I try not to talk about it because it's a very toxic subject,
Yeah,
and it's a very personal subject, and it really doesn't matter. But
absolutely.
I think that would probably be it. It's not a very uh
It's just they're
yeah,
not right or wrong. It's just
yeah,
the answer. And I believe, like when you start discussing politics and religion, it doesn't get anywhere. It doesn't get anywhere because you have your mind, you know what I mean, organized about that. You know already about your point of view, so you're not gonna change other person's minds because they're already settled as well. So
exactly.
yeah, two questions left. Let's do it. Next question is, tell us something that you have done that you feel very proud of yourself.
Um something I've done that I really feel proud is um, publishing my book. I think that would be,
Wow,
yeah.
you have a book? I didn't know that.
Yes. I published it last year or the year before. I'm not sure.
Tell me about
Um,
it.
I did it because I've been working on it for many years, and I had to finish it and do it. I mean, it's not something huge. It's just a photographic project. It's a very experimental project about a specific type of photography
Hmm.
that also has also like a, a kind of a theme. Um, I always wanted to complete it, and I've been working with this project since I first started studying photography. So I included the whole journey, and to me, it was something really. It was a huge accomplishment just for me, and it was tough for me to finish and publish it because I was constantly worried about, is it gonna sell? If are people gonna care about it? And I fought so hard inside me to say, you know what, you shouldn't really care about any of that. You need to complete it, publish it, and complete a piece of work that you worked so hard without caring if it's gonna do well or not. Like I did it for me, and like I had to complete it and publish it. And no, I to be honest, not many people know because I chose not to be really show off about it because it
Hmm.
was a very personal accomplishment. So I feel proud of completing it because it took a lot of emotional weight for me to just finally come and do it and work it and finish it. How-
Nico, the whole world knows right now at the moment. Now,
Yeah, I know. I know. I knew when I first published it and it came out and I had my first copy, and I was like, yeah, I think now it's out there now and it's out of my control.
do you have a copy right now that you could show or not?
Yeah, I do.
Can you show the cover, please?
And I chose to sell it on Amazon. It's a little bit pricier to sell it on Amazon,
Oh
but
wow, Memories of Light.
yes.
Wow, amazing.
So I use a long exposure techniques where you capture light for maybe maybe up to 10 minutes. Like
Oh,
the camera is recording and I do different things, but
ama-
I've done like several different types. Like
oh,
it the way the book is split in like three eras. And the first era has to do with my experimentation as a student with this technique when I did rooms and objects, and then the second time was I did portraits like of people. And then the third one was when I moved here, what I decided to, I need to put a third chapter and experiment a little bit more. And I didn't have many models or anyone who was interested in posing. And I said, I'll do it myself. And then this became a thing, doing myself. So
mhm,
I'm like, okay, we have three chapters. Let's put everything in one solid book and let's
amazing.
tell this story. And it naturally closed the circle, and there it is.
Memories of Light
Yes, sir.
by Nico. Amazing. Ready for the last question?
Yes, sir.
Last question. Let's do it. But before the last question, tell me, the highlight of your career as a photographer. I would say it would be your book that you created.
I would say it's things that the highlight to me is the fact that my work is on websites and it's all over the place, but not in a social media or advertised kind of way. Like the fact that I worked in those two major companies and my work might still, well, the work that I did in the UK might still not be on those websites,
Hmm.
but my contribution in those two companies and the one that I work now is work that is not really seen with my name on it, is seen, but nobody knows that this is my work. I do, or my colleagues know. But to me, to see my work on those big websites and see products or any kind of work that I did, me knowingly that, oh, I did that. To me, that's my accomplishment. The book, it was like a personal, emotional journey
Mm-hmm.
that it was more like a mental thing that I needed to finish and more like um a statement for me. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as career wise, I would say that my biggest accomplishment is me putting my my little signature on some big website or a big corporation that I helped to get where it is now. To me, that's all it is.
Amazing. Last question for you is, who is your biggest hero?
Wow, wow, you make really good questions. My biggest hero. Damn, I have so many people that they have inspired me in such a big way, but I don't know if I have only one that I could have at the top. Uh, it changes. It changes every year. I have my favorite people that inspire me. They're always around me, and it's this flow of energy that sometimes it's this person, sometimes it's that person. Like I
Which one
have,
would be the last one, like someone that comes to your mind, like one of the latest that inspired?
oh, I think the last one is one of my best friends who really helped me understand that um, uh, he he helped me detach from whatever I was stuck with because we all after COVID everybody struggled with their social media and their work online, and I was one of these people who got really depressed and really struggling to keep producing content and be happy with it, and my friend came and he really helped me find who I am and find the way to express what I'm doing and what I like the most without caring how this will show and how we will do online. And recently, that was my biggest slap in the face in a good way to wake me up.
Mhm.
So I really respect my friend for helping me with this. But again, it comes and goes. Like
Mhm.
there will be another moment where my parents will help me a lot, or my husband will just say this one thing, and I will be like, "Oh my God, that's why I love you." You know, so I
Yeah,
don't have one person. It's basically my close circle to me my most important mentors and
amazing. Very good. So the internet, let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
my
Let's start with family,
family. Good food,
money,
money. Oh, for money, I will say things that I always wanted to get.
fear.
Fear, failure,
One word for life,
life. I will say gardening and growing things.
one word for love,
Love. Oh, it's the little things. Uh,
one word,
snuggling. There you go. Snuggling.
sex,
Sex. Ooh. Uh, intense.
ooh, religion,
I will say. Damn it! You just said that word because I religion is hard. I will say faith.
okay,
I will say faith for religion.
politics,
Politics, disappointment,
friendship,
friendship, um, trust,
desire,
desire. Less is more.
regret,
Regret, crying, a lot of crying.
success,
Success. Uh, I will say Success makes me nervous. So probably I will say nervousness.
I like that, actually. Interesting. One word for wish.
I will say for wish, I will say simplicity, because I like wishing simple things for simple things.
Happiness.
Happiness, fulfillment,
One word for Texas.
Texas. I will say food again. Good food.
One word for USA.
USA. Many, many, many choices.
One word for Nottingham.
Nottingham. I will say experiences.
How about Greece? One word.
Greece. I will say home. That's all I
Okay.
will say. That's the first thing that comes to my head.
Photographer. One word.
Um, exploration.
One word for graphic designer.
Uh, creativity.
And the last one now, memories of light. For your
Ooh.
words.
Oh my God. I will say probably a long journey.
Like that.
Very long journey.
Let's pretend I'm going to meet your lovely husband for a coffee, and I'm going to ask him, define Niko in one positive word and one negative word only, what he would say.
Oh wow. And he just came in now. He will say for negative stuff, he will say uh probably that overthinking.
Okay?
And for positive, I think he would probably say it would be easier if I just call him and ask him. But I think he will say kindness.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's play now Niko and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before you ask him the question, what is your favorite Greek word?
I will say apolafsi, which means um, enjoyment. When you're enjoying something you do, you eat, you drink, you live your life. Apolafsi is, it means that the fulfillment and enjoyment.
Let me see if I say right. Abolaphy.
Apolafsi.
Abolapsy.
Close, very close. Yes.
Abolapsy.
There you go.
You can ask me a question now, Niko.
Okay, my question for you is, what really prompted you to take that one step and begin this journey that you're doing right now?
Beautiful question. Beautiful question. You know what? I'll tell you something, Niko. I remember the moments when this idea came along. I remember the place. I remember exactly the place when this idea came along. And I'll tell you something. What prompted me to do that? I've always been passionate about people, about expressing myself. I love learning. I'm very curious. I love to connect with people who knows me very well. Even before I started doing the show, they know the way I am. So I think what prompted me to do this show is about connect with people. Yeah, it's about expressing myself and also letting people express themselves as well. If I tell you how much I've been learning, like different things with people, just talking to people, you have no idea, culture as well, like,
I
and
bet.
everything. It opened my mind as well about so many topics. I remember the first time when I learned, I heard the word polyamorous here on the show with a lovely man from the US. I was a bit confused because he was talking about his partner who lives in Asia, and after he said, "Oh, and my boyfriend lives in Atlanta," I was like, "Oh, am I am I getting the right?" So imagine so many topics that was here in the magic box
Yeah.
that I've been, you have no idea my knowledge, a lot of things that I've been learning here. So what a prompt to me to about the show, it's about expressing myself. You know, when you do your arts, your photography, you know this beautiful like feeling that you have, genuine, it's the same feeling I have as well. It's fun enough. Before I started doing the show, I was already doing that. Yes, when I look back as a teenager, you know, as an adult as well, I remember going on vacation with friends. There were always a moment I was like, oh, so tell me something interesting about your childhood memories. Who was your favorite teacher? Who in your family you are more connected with? And my friends, they were always, everyone was you were talking. I remember birthday celebration. I was doing this round with questions, and everyone was so connected and everyone was so happy. So I was doing already that. Of course, not in front of the camera, of course, not with
Yeah.
people around the boards, but I think people, when they see the show, they say, oh, really, so natural. It's because it's me. I'm
Yep.
expressing the way I am. I just remember that I'm recording. When I look here on the side, that I can see recording, because for me, I feel like I'm talking to you now as a friend, as someone that I just connect now, and I can, you know, connect. I can trust. I can talk. I have this moment now. It's like making memories.
Yes.
So, you know, it's about expressing myself. It's something about me. It's about, you know, the show. It's just so amazing. You have no
It was
idea.
meant to be. It was meant to do for you to do this
That's
because
what I
we
think
yep.
as well. That's what I think. If I would see someone doing that exactly the same, I would be like, oh my God, I would love to be doing that. So I said that before, it's a gift. It's something that
It's
it
amazing.
meant to be
I've
for
never
me.
seen anybody do this. And
It,
when I
it
saw that, I'm like, oh wow, he's collecting
memories.
people's memory. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a really cool idea for
Imagine
sure.
10 years time we watch this interview now and we're gonna
Yeah.
go like, oh my God, how I've changed, or how I still carry on with the same thoughts. You know, I'm in a different place, so I'm in the same place, I'm doing something. As you said, you have different paths that you can choose, but you haven't found yet. Imagine in some time you're gonna go
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I found now. So yes, I think it's something beautiful, it's something new, fresh, something that people
Don't
connect.
change anything. Don't change anything.
Yes, and people, they, I remember when I started doing the show, people were like, oh, why don't you do a podcast? I I could do maybe in the future, I don't know, but no, I can. For me, this is so real. For me, it feels so real. It feels so passionate. It feels so nice that you know, there's something about it, the show, that people feel comfortable. People feel they trust the show. They
Mhm.
trust that they can be themselves. They can. It's a comforting place to be, and I'm so
Yeah.
grateful for that. That people, they feel relaxed. And sometimes, to be honest with you, people, they get so relaxed that they say things that when I'm editing, I go like, let me double check that, because it's very personal. You know what I mean? And I have this thing because sometimes people, they open up a lot, and I don't want people to watch the interview and regret things. I want them to watch it and feel
Yes,
happy. Do you know what I
absolutely.
mean? And I had situation as well. People, after the interview, they send me a message, William, it's okay if you can take this out, because I said I was already thinking about that, because it's, as soon as the person starts saying something very personal here, I got my brain start, okay, editing time is the editing time.
Yes.
But it's beautiful. I think it's a great journey. Thanks so much
It's
for
amazing.
thanks so much. Thanks for being
Of
so
course.
sweet. When I approached you, you've been kind since the first time.
I was really interested, yeah.
Thank you so much. Did you enjoy the interview?
Oh yeah. I really like that. It was really cool.
Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Oh my God. I think I changed a lot the past 10 years. I think now I try to enjoy every moment more without worrying what's coming. And it's not easy. I mean, I still worry many times. If something bad happens, I constantly worry. But the more I grow, the more mature I get. I think I need to invest more in now, in the moments that I have now. And yes, we do plans. We think about the future, but um, what we do right now is the most important. And yeah, it will define the future, but you never know what's coming tomorrow, and you might regret not doing stuff that you could do today. So I think that would be it. Just live this moment. I know it's a cliche to say live the moment, but I think it's true. Like you need to focus on now and what you
Uh,
do now.
Absolutely. The past is gone, the future will come, and the moment
Mhm.
is just a present, it's a gift. So let's live the moment, let's
We have a
enjoy.
very limited time to be here.
Absolutely. How do I say thank you in Greek?
Ευχαριστώ.
Again?
Ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Efherstopoli.
There you go.
Close.
You nailed it. You keep nailing it.
Thank you so much, regards to your husband, to your family, to your friends
I
as
will.
well. And you keep in
I
touch,
will.
okay, Nick? It was a pleasure, okay? Enjoy your day.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.
You too. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.